Welcome to the Lex Buds and Pick and Roll Podcast 40th episode edition. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Brandon.
And with you as always is Tyler.
Tyler, we're 40.
This is 40.
This is 40. I'm pretty excited about it. When we first started, who would have thought we would have made it to 40? Right? I mean, when you think about it, that was a long time ago.
I know, it seems like forever ago.
About 40 weeks.
About 40 weeks on the dot, I think. But we're closing in on a year now of the show, which is just crazy.
That is crazy. We're going to have to look back on this, maybe do a year in review of what we've done, because it's been a crazy year. We've had the chance to interview some really cool people and have some stuff coming up that we're excited to share, but we're going to make you wait on that one. But in this episode, Tyler, we're going to talk some sports again. I feel like it's Groundhog Day. We've got to talk about UK basketball losses. We're going to talk about Wan'Dale Robinson transferring. We're also going to cover some of the fallout from the riots in D.C. and some interesting news if you were an eater of Hot Pockets or if you're a smoker in New Jersey.
Wow.
That's a lot. Think about that. And to top it all off, Tyler, the icing on the cake, in the third segment, we are going to do our wheel of stupid topics / random topics / stuff that we just want to talk about.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I love when we break out the wheel. It's always a good time.
Who doesn't like the wheel?
It's fun for everyone.
It is. It is, absolutely. Tyler, tell me about your week. Before we dive into all this madness for the week, tell me what's going on in the Tyler household.
Well, it was a big week of football at the Bentley household.
Mm-hmm.
If you listened to the show last week, you got to see me reacting to the Browns taking a 28-0 lead against Pittsburgh. But then after the show, you didn't get to see me almost losing my mind as the Browns almost blew it to the Steelers, but still came through and won. And then, of course, today, the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, who last year won the Super Bowl, have basically dominated the last 2 years.
Easily.
And the Browns almost pulled it out. I mean, they had a chance to take the lead. They had a drive in the end at the fourth quarter. We were playing with house money in my mind. But to have a chance to win and have it ripped away, I will admit, it did hurt a little bit. But at the end of the day, as a Browns fan, you get a playoff win over Pittsburgh. You take the Super Bowl champs right till the end. You can't ask for a whole lot more. So it was a good week as a Browns fan. Optimistic for the future now.
So the way I hear it, the Browns dictate how your week goes, Tyler. That is a very dangerous world to live in. You realize you're walking on thin ice there. That's scary. You're letting the Cleveland Browns dictate your life.
Yeah, I've had one good week in the last 10 years.
Oh, jeez. That's pretty fun, Tyler.
But the future's looking good, man.
I like it. We had just a typical run-of-the-mill week. We work all week. And then last night we had a game night. We broke out Clue. I got to play Clue for the first time with my kids. And we have this Office edition. You're familiar with the show The Office, Tyler.
Of course.
They have Clue, the Office edition, where you try to find out who killed Toby.
Of course it's Toby.
Yeah, and it's great because the weapons in the game are like a bacon griddle, a Dundee Award, a rabid bat, and like all these random things from the show. And it's a really fun callback. If you're an Office fan, check out the Clue, the Office edition. I highly recommend it.
That sounds awesome. Well, who ended up winning?
I won.
Wow,
it was a race. It was close.
Okay, who was the killer and what did they use?
Jim did it with the Dundee Trophy in the kitchen. Yeah,
the Dundee Trophy.
I know, it's crazy.
Should have seen it coming.
Tyler, should we just dig right in? Should we just dig right into the nuts and bolts? Get into the sport. We don't have a whole lot of sports this week. Most of it's not great. Are you ready to hit it?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm glad we're not doing this. I'm glad we're recording on Sunday, so I've had 24 hours at least to calm down from where my anger was at yesterday.
So, Tyler, it has been a rough week for UK basketball fans. First, we had the 20-point loss to Alabama, home loss, and a 66-59 loss to Auburn on the road, where Auburn had one of their worst offensive performances of the year. Tyler, are you tired of doing this same segment every week?
Do you remember 5 days ago when we were high off of a victory over Florida and we were getting ready to play Alabama for first place in the conference? What weren't those good times?
Yes, those were good time.
We thought,
not plural.
We sat here on this show last week and we're like, boy, we've turned it around. We've turned a corner. Kyle's done it again. Boy, were we wrong. I mean, jeez, just
Cal done it again. All right, you are correct in that, Ty. I will give you credit. He done it again.
He's done something.
I mean, what's the problem here? We had the big turnaround at Florida. You come off that. How do you lay just a crap game at home against Alabama, and then most recent with the Auburn game? How does that happen from one team that seemingly can't be stopped against Florida, and then you can't do jack against either of these two teams? What's the problem?
Well, we can't score, I think, is the main issue. When we play teams like Alabama that are going to score 75, 80 points a game, you just go ahead and chalk that up as a loss. We're not keeping up with any teams that can score like that. I mean,
even if you look at Gonzaga,
we just can't.
The number one team in the country. Gonzaga, we used to make fun of, like, oh yeah, they don't play anybody. Well, they still don't really play anybody, but they look like world beaters, and they're playing the same style of offense as well. It feels like we're getting left behind. Like, hey, wait, take us with you. We want to go. And you see these teams that are just killing it, and they're draining threes. They're fun to watch. They run, and like you said, we can't score. I mean, is it too late for us to catch up with that? You know,
and we're throwing out lineups with three big men out there. I mean, we had a 3 big man lineup at one point against Alabama, and that's just not going to work in today's modern game. And especially when you're down big, you're not going to come back with 2-pointers. We need somebody to hit some threes.
Now, Tyler, you know that Calipari's philosophy is that wingspan scores points. We get points based on wingspan, Tyler. So every inch over 7 feet, we're supposed to get a point. The refs don't give us to us. The refs are actually screwing us out of it. I think that's what Calipari thinks. Contrary to his belief, wingspan does not equal points. Wingspan equals good draft combine, not good points. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then to beat it all at the end of the game, if we're talking about the game against Auburn, it was very clear who was having a good game and who was not. Right? Mm-hmm. Jacob Toppin and Dante Allen, our 2 top scorers in the first half, don't get in until well into the second half.
Yep.
I mean, what's the problem there? Where do you think that comes from? I know I saw Cal's comments after the game, but what do you think is really behind his motives for playing? I don't want to say it's their name, but it rhymes with Austin, B.J. Austin. Why does he continue to go that route and leave the players that are performing on the bench?
It's truly mind-boggling. But the Auburn game, Kentucky lost that game the first 10 minutes because Auburn started the game as cold as you possibly could. They started out the game 1 for 10 from 3. Or something ridiculous. I can't remember exactly what it was.
It was bad.
I think they missed 15 of their first 16 shots total. And we built a 9-2 lead. When they missed 15 of 16 shots. It should have been 22-2. We should have had a 20-point lead and said we had a 7-point lead. Because it was kind of like the Elite Eight game a few years ago when we got off to a big lead, but we got off to a lead, but not enough because you knew Auburn was going to start hitting shots. You knew they were going to. You knew those 3-pointers that they were missing the first half were going to start hitting in the second. You've got to build up a bigger lead when the other team misses 15 of its first 16 shots.
And Auburn was playing bad when there was technical difficulties during the game for a couple minutes, and when it came back, the announcer, Jimmy Dyke, said, well, I don't think you missed any baskets. I don't think anybody scored. Yeah. So you're okay. And it's like, wow, both of these teams really suck today.
The announcers were crushing both teams. It was quite hilarious.
It was funny. But like you said, we couldn't take advantage. You know what I mean? It's like no matter what the other team does, we're going to score the same amount of points regardless. You know what I mean? But again, going back to my question, I think there's a reason for it. And you and I talked about this. There are certain players when they're on the floor, we build a lead or we play well. There are certain players when they're on the floor, maybe 5-star players, we don't play as well. Why does he keep doing the same thing over and over?
Well, we've got his quote from after the game. Did you hear his quote about why he...
Unfortunately.
If you've not heard, which I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't, Calipari was asked after the game, as he is pretty much asked after every game, why didn't Dante Allen play more? He was the leading scorer in the first half. He played 8 minutes in the second half. And I've got the quote here. I will share it.
Yep.
Calipari said, I want to win every game I coach. But, now let me just stop there. There should not be a but to that statement. When you say, I want to win every game I coach, but. No but.
You're right.
I want to win every game I coach, period. End of sentence.
That's a really good point, Kyle.
There should not be any exception to wanting to win every game as the head basketball coach at the University of Kentucky. But I digress. But the other side of it is, I'm not trying to take anybody's heart away. Thoughts on that quote, Brandon?
It's infuriating. And it confirms what we've thought this whole season, and that's that no matter how good a Kentucky-bred basketball player is, like Dante Allen, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have enough stars next to his name. And the only hearts that he's not worried about hurting are those kids. Because you don't think that hurts Dante Allen to sit there in the first half, sit there in the second half and think, well, I was like the best player in the first half, and I'm still not in. We're 10 minutes in to the second half. So you're okay with tearing the hearts out of, Kentucky players, Kentucky-born players, but not five-star players. And I call BS on that, too, because I recall Scal Labissiere. He sat on the bench because he wasn't producing. Mm-hmm. Well, same situation. Why is he on the B.J. Boston train so much? Scal was the number 2 recruit in the country when he came in.
He was.
Just as, coveted a recruit. So why is he sticking with Boston when he was so quick to put Scal on the bench? What's the problem? What was the plus-minus on that? There was a plus-minus stat that just blew my mind.
Oh, yeah. So if you're not familiar with the plus-minus stat, it's one of my favorite stats because it basically tells you when a certain player is in the game, how many points did they either outscore the opponent by or how many points did the opponent outscore them by. So if you have a positive plus-minus, that means when you were in the game, you outscored the other team by this many points. So when Dante Allen was in the game, his plus-minus was plus 11.
Awesome. So we win the game. We won.
By 11.
That's
right?
Great.
However, without Dante Allen in the game, we were minus 18.
That's where that comes in. I see.
So you take 11 minus 18.
And we lost by 7.
We lost by 7.
Math. That's for you math majors. But yeah, I mean, and B.J. Boston, I think, was what, a minus 13? And I'm not trying to throw off on the kid, right? He's 18 years old. These are young kids. But at the same time, the coach is the one that is putting him in that situation to continuously fail. I don't know that he's doing him any favors. And now you see some draft analysts say, B.J. Boston's not ready for the upcoming draft. And that's okay. He's not who we thought he was. He's not tough enough yet. He'll get there. I don't know. I just don't get it. And after Cal's comment, the quote that you just read, I have a feeling this is going to keep going. Because this is his philosophy.
God, I hope not. This is just getting so frustrating. And then Cal also said he took Allen out because he turned down a couple shots. Are you kidding me? So you leave B.J. Boston in, who will jack up the ball every time he gets it. I mean, he's like a black hole when he gets the ball. It's not coming back out.
It's not going back out.
So you let him in and shoot free will, but you take out Allen, who maybe gave up a shot to try to get a better shot. I mean, I don't get that philosophy at all. That makes no sense.
Would you rather somebody not take 2 shots or brick 10 shots?
Exactly. Exactly. Or make turn. I mean, B.J. Boston had 2 turnovers in the last couple minutes that sealed the game. It was a 6-point game. He had back-to-back turnovers that led to layups on the other end. It was a 10-point game.
But again, this goes back to that whole thing of some players, if you have enough stars by your name, have a longer leash than those that may be Kentucky-born, Kentucky-raised players. And if you haven't noticed, Kentucky fans really like players from Kentucky. Right? We love Richie Farmer. Where is Richie playing tonight? Darius Miller. We all love Darius Miller and still cheer for him. And the same thing with Dante Allen.
Absolutely. And I think I want to throw out one more quote. I had this written down. Did you see Jacob Toppin's quote after the game?
I did, but I can't remember exactly what it said.
All right, so let me tell you what Jacob Toppin said in the post-game interview. He was asked kind of why the team still hasn't bought in at this point of the season. We're in late January. And he said, sometimes when we're playing basketball, some people tend to go off check and try to do their own thing and try to play me basketball, and that's what we don't need.
Yeah, that is a killer.
Is that not a direct call out to B.J. Boston? I mean, who else would he be talking about right there?
B.J. Boston.
Right?
I mean, it's really tough, and you don't want to have those things happening in January. You don't want to have those kind of quotes. And there's some very cryptic things on Dante Allen's Instagram story as well that
not good.
Not great. I'll let you check those out if you want to, but there's some problems here, and I don't know if they're correctable at this point. I think between the talent level, the failure of the recruits to live up to their billing, and just the complete collapse of Calipari's coaching style, this is going to be a bad year. I don't know that it's going to get any better next year. And it makes you just, when I see the things that Dante Allen's putting out on his Instagram story, it just reeks of Johnny Juzang and Jamal Baker leaving because they didn't have enough stars next to their name, and now they're lighting it up.
Yep. It kind of feels like the wheels are falling off, that Cal is kind of losing his guys, and clearly there's some chemistry issues still. And
is part of it Calipari?
I mean,
is he causing? Because it can be a direct cause. If you're playing the best and you don't get the playing time, and then other players see that too, they're like, well, wait a minute. If there's a 5-star recruit coming in next year, but if I play better than them, I'm still going to be on the bench.
Absolutely, I think it does.
I think it's going to have lasting impacts on Kentucky recruits. When I say Kentucky recruits, I mean kids in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Are you going to want to go play for Calipari when you know that a 5-star player coming in is going to get a longer leash, more playing time, and if you mess up one time, you're out?
And let me just say this. We have a huge Kentucky kid, a huge Kentucky recruit coming up the next couple of years, who's been in the news this week, Jeff Shepard's kid.
Reed Shepard.
Reed Shepard.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Calipari had better go all in on this kid now, because can you imagine 2 years from now if Reed Shepard comes out and picks another school and says, Kentucky never really recruited me that hard.
Yeah.
Or, I stopped hearing from Calipari. I stopped hearing from Kentucky.
Or what if he says, I saw that Kentucky players don't get as much time, so I didn't go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who he better go all in on? Dante Allen, to make sure he doesn't transfer.
Yeah.
I would say that's his biggest recruit.
Yeah, more pressing right now, Cal. Let's try to keep Dante Allen a little happier.
Yeah, please.
But Cal's, it's really frustrating. I think he's losing the team. I think he's losing the fan base. And he's losing games. He's just losing everything.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, let's talk about something else.
Please.
Brandon, the NCAA is changing the process for how teams will be seeded in this year's NCAA tournament, which it looks like we may not even be a part of.
At least we'll get to watch without being nervous.
Yeah, exactly. Since the entire tournament's going to be played in Indianapolis this year, geography no longer matters. So instead of fixing the bracket so teams could play closer to home, like Duke always gets to play in Raleigh or Durham or or Charlotte, teams will be seeded based on an S-curve. Brandon, can you explain what an S-curve is, and are you a fan of this new seeding?
The easiest way to explain the S-curve, let's think about the top 8 teams. It means that the number one team, the number one seed, would play the lowest seeded number 2 seed. So the number 1 team would play the number 18, the number 2 would play the number 7, 3, 6, and 4, 5. Right? It makes it more even throughout, and geography is completely out the window. This is the way it should be done every year. Because let's face it, there are certain areas of the country where basketball is not even a priority. Right? If you go west of the Mississippi, nobody really cares about basketball out there. You know what I mean? And you're going to let all those places stay home. Why don't you give the advantage to the places that, or to the teams that do well all year? You're the number 1 seed in the tournament. Great. Well, you're next to Duke, so we're going to put Duke in Charlotte or something like that. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It should be on an S-curve every year. This is something that should not stop going forward, and hopefully this is a way for them to implement this on the long term by using the excuse that it's at a single site.
Yeah, I agree. And it makes the tournament better, I mean, well, in 2017, you had the 2 best teams, Kentucky and North Carolina, in the same bracket because they're geographically close to each other.
What does that have to do? So you play hard all year long to get a good seed, and then they say, well, none of that matters. It's all where you live.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck's that all about?
Yeah, so Gonzaga gets the easiest draw every year, and Arizona, those teams always get a great draw because there's, like you said, west of the Mississippi, there's not really any great. All the good teams are on the East Coast. So all those teams have to battle each other out. Then you get, a championship game that's lopsided. I mean, kind of, in 2011, Kentucky UConn in the Final Four, the winner got to play the winner of Butler and VCU. I mean,
thrilling.
You've seen this time and time again where one side of the bracket is loaded, the other side is not, and you get a terrible championship game. I think this solves that. Hopefully the NCAA will realize that. Hopefully we get one of the best NCAA tournaments we've ever had because of it.
Yeah, now one thing that we'll have to look into is, there's also these rules about playing some teams in your conference and stuff like that. You can't play them in the first two rounds. So, but I think it would be great if you just listed out the 68 teams, 1 through 68. That way everybody knows what the S-curve is. You can move along. There's no controversy on whose bracket's easier. It's literally just how the season played out, which is how it should be. Very fair.
Agreed. I'm excited for the tournament, even though we may not be in it.
Tyler, this fall, Kroger Field will become Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Wan'Dale Robinson's neighborhood. The native Kentuckian and Nebraska standout receiver announced he is transferring to Kentucky. Tyler, what does this commitment mean, and how much will it improve our passing game as a whole, which was pretty dreadful this year?
Is that Eddie Murphy reference?
Yeah, Mr. Robinson's neighbor. That's right.
Oh my God, that was a great skit. This is awesome, man. This is exactly what Kentucky needed. We were just missing that Lynn Bowden type playmaker this last year. We didn't have anybody that, 3rd and 6, you can just throw them the ball and they'll make a play and get a first down. We didn't have anybody like that this year. If you have not seen this dude's highlight reels from high school and from Nebraska, it is incredible.
He's legit.
He reminds you of Lynn Bowden. He really does. Just the ability to make people miss, the speed. He's going to be exciting to watch. I can't wait. He's probably only going to be here for 1 year before he goes to the NFL, likely.
That's how good he is, though. You know what? If he's so good that he's only here for 1 year, I'm very happy. And this will actually help out Josh Ali as well. Josh Ali announced that he's coming back. It was difficult for him as well because he was the only receiver that defenders really had to key in on, right? By having Wan'Dale Robinson here, using him as a receiver, that's going to open up spots for Josh Ali as well. You know what I mean? So it's going to make him a better prospect in the NFL by hopefully being more open now because people are going to be targeting Wan'Dale. And it also makes me excited to see what our new offensive coordinator is going to do.
Liam Cohen.
It's going to be exciting to see how he's used. He's an electrifying, game-changing player. From Kentucky, we should all be super excited. And you know what? The quarterbacks, I bet, are salivating right now.
Yep.
It's going to be really interesting to see the quarterback battle because they're going to want to throw to this guy.
Yep. They've got speed. They've got consistency with Ali. I think the one thing we're still missing is that kind of big 6'3", 6'4" receiver, that kind of the DK Metcalf type guy. The Auburn had that guy that just killed us in that game this year that was like that.
Well,
I think if Kentucky could ever add, if we've never been able to get a guy like that. I think if we could get one of the, we've got some young guys coming in that have some of that height.
Yeah.
If we can get one of them to develop, you talk about just having so many options on offense.
Yeah, but if you look at it again, the new offensive coordinator Liam Cohen has talked about he likes to use, I wouldn't say short, but smaller receivers that can get into areas that maybe bigger receivers can't. So I'm excited to see how he's going to be used. It's going to be great.
Very true. We're at football school now, I think.
Well, it's not a basketball school this year, I can tell you that.
All right, our last topic, Brandon. Boy, has this been a controversy this week. After the basketball team took a knee in the national anthem of the Florida game, there's been a lot of backlash throughout the fan base, including...
Haven't heard a thing about it, Tyler.
No, really?
No.
Okay, well, let me fill you in then. There was a video of the Laurel County Sheriff burning his UK shirt this week that made all the rounds on Twitter. Brandon, do you think people are overreacting to the team taking a knee? Or what is your opinion of it?
Okay, so there's a lot of different things. Let's talk about the act itself. All right, so if you're comparing protesting of kneeling to the Capitol rights, then, well, yeah, kneeling is better. At the same time, though, I do understand where people that are upset about it are upset because there are certain things that some people, I'm not saying you have to hold this sacred, some people hold certain things sacred, right? God, country, all these things.
Yep.
So if somebody, if they feel that is disrespecting something that they hold sacred, that you should always do, then I can see why people would be upset, and I'm not upset with people that are angry about it. Now, lighting your clothes on fire seems a little bit stupid. If you're going to do that, send them to me. I like having extra clothes to lay around, and I didn't burn the first thing. So I thought that was a little bit over the top, but I understand why people would be upset. I also understand where the players are coming from, that it's a silent protest. Or, it's just tricky. I think the fact that we're losing a lot has something to do with it as well. When you're winning games, people are like, I don't really like that, but they won some games. probably timing-wise is difficult. And it's hard to tell the players when they have a belief that, oh, maybe do it when we're winning. I get that too. But reality is reality, and when everybody's already negative and you've poured a little extra fuel into the fire, whether it's deserved or not, it's tough.
Yep. I'll start with my take on the kneeling. I don't like it, if I'm just being honest. I've gotten less upset about it as time has gone on, and like you said, after we saw the Capitol riots, like, my goodness, at least it's not, it's not violent. They're not attacking anyone or breaking anything. At least it's a peaceful protest.
But still a protest against something that people may find sacred.
Right. And like I said, I don't necessarily like it. I've gotten less upset about it over time. I heard one of the best points I heard someone make this week. When you're watching a game at home, like when the Super Bowl, they always play the national anthem for the Super Bowl. Do you get up and stand when they're playing the national anthem on TV? Do you get up and stand? Most people, I bet, probably don't. You're sitting there, you're sitting on the couch, you're lazy boy. I mean, you don't get up and stand when you. I mean, is it just because they're playing it in person?
They're playing it to you. They're playing it to you. I think that's what it is. But at the same time, when you're in your house, do you take a knee?
Right.
It kind of could go both ways, right? I don't know. I don't like it personally, but that's just me. Everybody can have their own opinion, but everybody just gets so jacked up about everything. It's like either you're fully on board or you want to kill somebody.
Yes.
Is there like a middle ground where you can just be like, I didn't really care for that, but man, I hope we win.
Right?
Why can't you do it? Maybe that's just me. Is that wrong?
No, and then you had you see the Knox County Fiscal Court trying to ask that their tax funds don't go towards the university. I mean, just ridiculous stuff.
So that's just dumb. That's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah, exactly.
You need the funds for the school. I mean, it's probably the biggest job producer in the whole state. It's putting out graduates all over the state that are going to do great things and open businesses. That is just not smart. That's trying to play to a base of people that I would hope are smarter than that. If I were one of his constituents, I would be like, do you think I'm dumb? Like, don't treat me like a child. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Don't say stupid things. Be a grown-up. That's what we elected you for.
And the guy burning his shirt, here's my question. Brandon, how many UK shirts would you say you own?
Between Kentucky and University of Kentucky shirts, I have quite a few.
I mean, I would say I have at least 20.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a good collection.
I mean, half of my closet is just UK shirts. So are you telling me this guy only has one UK shirt?
That was disappointing. Is he really a UK? He probably went out to Doll Hairs, if Doll Hairs is still in existence. Like, give me that UK shirt. I'm going to go burn it and put it on social media.
Yeah, that's the thing. The people who say they're not going to ever watch again or going to quit, I don't think they were big fans to start with. I think they're just jumping on this as an excuse to be angry about something. You're telling me if you were a big fan and the John Wall team had done this or the 2012 team that you would have quit watching? No. It's like you said, a big part of this team isn't any good, so it gives people another thing to get upset about. Mm-hmm. A lot of this is just because they're stinking right now. If they were winning games...
You hate to say that, though, but it's true.
Yep.
Even with Calipari, there's certain things that if Calipari had made that quote about, well, I don't want to take some kid's heart out, and we were 12-0, people would be like, he's winning. Mm-hmm. That's the way the world is, man. It's a stupid thing, but it's human nature. If you're winning, things are really, really good for you.
Just win, baby.
When you're not, people are like, but you're not winning either, so now I really don't like you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's been an interesting... first segment. In the second segment, we are going to talk about Bruce Willis, of all things.
Oh, boy.
Dixie Cups, Inauguration Day, Hot Pockets, and New Jersey Smokers. I'm excited. And, of course, in segment 3, we're going to be talking about our wheel of random stupid topics.
I can't wait.
It's going to be great, and we will see you right after the break.
Welcome back. Segment 2, Episode 40 of the Lex Buds and Pick and Roll podcast. If you aren't already following us on Twitter, make sure you give us a follow at Lex Buds. Follow us on Facebook, Lex Buds and Pick and Roll. And make sure you visit our website. We try to have different stories and articles up weekly on there. So if you haven't visited us in a while, stop by and check us out.
One of my favorite articles that you wrote recently, Tyler, was comparing this team, the UK basketball team, to Mighty Ducks 2.
Which might have been a bit premature now. I wrote that before the Alabama game.
But it was a good article. And I think you've got some cool stuff coming up as well. And, of course, you can find our full video show on there which is really
on
cool.
YouTube, yes.
And on the website. Yeah, on the website, too. So check us out. You can see our beautiful faces.
Who wouldn't want to see these beautiful mugs? I don't know who wouldn't.
I don't know who wouldn't either. Tyler, we got some interesting stories here. I'm going to start out with this one. Tyler, a Kentucky nurse from Henderson was fired from her Evansville hospital job after she admitted to going into the Capitol with a mob of protesters. My question is, Tyler, should protesters be held accountable by their employers? And what about those that weren't part of the mob that broke into the Capitol but were just protesting? Should they have been punished as well, if they will be?
And then just a little bit of breaking news. We just saw during the break a University of Kentucky student has been arrested for the protest. So this is hitting several people in our state. This is tough, man. This lady's a nurse. Nurses have been our frontline heroes for the last 10, 11 months. You hate to see anybody in healthcare especially lose their job. She told reporters that she met no resistance, that there were no signs saying "do not enter" or anything like that. But at the same time, you gotta know better. It's unfortunate, but you gotta know better. Especially, I've worked in healthcare, and I can tell you, there are so many trainings that healthcare employees get about being careful what you get posted online, because things that get posted online are going to get you fired. And when you go into the Capitol building, whether you were breaking anything or just walking in peacefully, you've got to know that it's going to potentially cost you your job. And she said she doesn't regret it, said she'd do it again. I don't know. I feel for her, I really do. But I think, she wasn't fired for her age or race or religion or, all those big things that you can't fire somebody for. You can get fired for anything outside of those areas.
Let me tell you something. I don't feel for her at all. When you go into a Capitol building during a riot and when people are breaking in, don't expect to just come out with a clean slate. Just as a general rule of thumb, I don't care what it is, whether you're protesting Trump or Biden or what you're doing. Just a general rule of thumb on life, just as a whole. You can't walk right into the Capitol building or to the Senate or anything like that and just walk in. Just know that. All right. Yeah. There was a reason there was no resistance is because the cops were trying to deal with about 1,000 other people that were trying to break in. All right. You take advantage of the situation. Total baloney. I don't feel sorry for her, to be honest with you. When you do bad, it's like I tell my kids. My kids are 7 and 10 years old. Hey, guys, what happens when you do good stuff? We get good things. What happens when you do bad stuff? We get bad things. Done. That's all you got to do. This lady did something bad. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't feel bad for her. Don't go into the Capitol building when there's a riot and then expect no ramifications. Just a general rule of thumb for everybody. This is a lesson, like a Schoolhouse Rock lesson. I wish there was some kind of rhyming song that was like, "Don't go in here right now. They're gonna throw you out. You're gonna lose your job." Da, da, da. Something like that. Can we have one of those?
That was great.
Thank you.
I think we need to do more Schoolhouse Rock songs for our segments.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well played, sir. All right. Georgia Pacific announced on Friday that the Dixie manufacturing facility right here in Lexington will be the only factory in the world making Dixie cups by the end of 2021. They're going to close their other location in Pennsylvania, expand the Lexington factory, add about 50 more jobs here, so that's good. Brandon, are you excited that in addition to being the bourbon capital, the basketball capital, the horse racing capital, that we are soon to be the Dixie Cup capital of the world?
I'm really excited. I've been a fan of Dixie Cups since Travis Tritt said, "I drive an old Ford pickup truck. I do my drinking from a Dixie cup."
Now, see, I was thinking of the Kenny Chesney song.
No, I was never thinking of a Kenny Chesney song.
1 bottle of wine and 2 Dixie cups.
You want to cut this segment off? I can't.
I fell in love.
Well, I'm going with the Travis Tritt. I think it's awesome. Kentucky should be known for certain things. It should be known for basketball, bourbon, and Dixie cups, and the bluegrass, and horses. That's a good combination. When you hear that, you don't think, "Wow, I never want to go there." You think, "That sounds like a cool place to hang out. I want to go hang out where they make the Dixie cups." I'm excited about it. Have some Kentucky pride. I think this is a good thing.
I'm interested. Do you ever drink out of a Dixie cup?
No.
Who are people who drink out of Dixie cups?
Maybe that's why they're closing the other factory. We may have hit on something like, guys, this Dixie Cup thing isn't working out. We may need to just go down to one factory.
Yeah, I just kind of find that fascinating. Like, who is the target audience for Dixie Cups?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's obviously not us. We drink out of bourbon glasses and Kiss glasses.
Yeah.
To be done.
You know, we buy them for our kids to kind of, you know, when they're brushing their teeth at night, they rinse with a Dixie Cup. But, you know, maybe that is. Maybe
that's the new target market.
Yeah.
Maybe put the Dixie Cups in the toothbrush section of the grocery store.
But, you know, with all the recent controversy of name changes, Brandon, you know, you had the Dixie Chicks change their name to the Chicks. You had Lady Antebellum change their names to Lady A. Do you think Dixie Cups are going to change their names to D Cups?
Oh, jeez, Tyler.
I'm sorry. I was saving that one for the end.
That was pretty good.
I knew you would like that.
You did. You really hit me with a sledgehammer on that one. I wasn't expecting that. You know what? If they're marketing correctly, they should.
I agree. It'd be genius if they had an ad campaign with calling them D Cups.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know what to say about that, Tyler. I think it's actually brilliant marketing. We should, Dixie Cup should come to us for marketing. Well, I'm sure the check's in the mail right now.
Oh, yeah. That's my MBA's paying off already.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Anyway, Tyler, Bruce Willis said, "Yippee-ki-yay, mother," to Rite Aid employees as he was kicked out of the retail pharmacy. He didn't really say that, by the way. He was kicked out of the retail pharmacy recently for not wearing a mask. Tyler, if you were the employee, would you kick him out or ask for an autograph?
I give major props to this employee. I mean, I don't know that I could walk up to Bruce Willis, to John freaking McClane, who threw Hans Gruber.
I'm assuming this happened in Die Hard.
Out of Yokotami Plaza. Yeah, you're throwing a Die Hard reference. You've still never even seen Die Hard.
I know the one line, but that's all I got.
But kudos to this Rite Aid employee who did what Hans Gruber couldn't do, which was throw Bruce Willis out of a building.
That's pretty good, Tyler.
Thank you.
So this guy or girl should be in the next Die Hard film and maybe go against Bruce Willis. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. But in reality, I heard that Willis was actually filming a movie while he was in Rite Aid called The Sixth Sense.
Tyler, you've lost your mind.
But really, Bruce, if you're listening, in all reality, this pandemic is serious. We need you to wear a mask. Maybe he's seen some of the conspiracy theories online, but Bruce, this is not Pulp Fiction. This is real. This is a real concern. I need you to mask up. Sorry, that's all my Bruce Willis reference.
That was pretty good, Tyler. I was just letting you go. That's pretty good, Tyler. I really enjoyed that. Not even sure what to say on that. But we'll move on. So you wouldn't have asked for the autograph.
Yeah, what do you think? Would you have thrown him out?
I would have gotten the autograph, and then I would have thrown him out. Hey, Mr. Willis, can I get your autograph? By the way, put your mask on or you're out of here. I think you can accomplish both.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. There's a way to do it.
Smooth move.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Brandon. We can't have a show without talking about Donald Trump. So here's our obligatory Donald Trump segment.
I thought we were out of the clear with that. Okay.
After having his account permanently suspended by Twitter, Donald Trump apparently is now exploring starting his own social media platform and says, quote, "We will have a big announcement soon. Do you believe Trump starts his own network, and would you join?"
Oh, jeez. Wow, what a loaded question that is. You know what? I've thought that he's either going to start his own television network or something like that for a while. I think with the president, I actually think that's what he was trying to do. This is my conspiracy theory. Okay. I think he was trying to do this before he got elected, and then he got elected. He's like, oh, crap. I got to do this now. But I actually think that's why he ran the first time, was to get publicity for his own network or own social network or something. Not social network. I think that's a direct impact on him getting banned. So he's probably trying to start it. I think he'll find out that it's not as easy to start as you think. But I can tell you this, the minute that he puts out the word, I hope the servers are ready because he's going to have millions of followers. He will.
You think so?
Yeah. You also didn't think that a man in a horned helmet would get into the Capitol, did you? And that happened.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that will be on it. I think their servers better be ready.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Whether I think there's more likelihood that he starts his own like TV network or something like that than the social network. That's a totally different game. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm not going to join it. I'm good. I'm kind of done with social media as much. I try to do as little as I can. Just in general, we do stuff with this show, which I enjoy, but the other stuff I don't like.
Yeah. I will say I think Donald Trump will release his own social network the day that he releases his tax returns and unveils his new health care plan. I think he's going to roll all that out on the same day.
Tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow?
I mean, he's run out of time.
Look, think about this, though. Do you think people would get on it?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think people would get on it?
No. I mean, there's already so many social... I mean, you got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Well, look, a lot
Pinterest.
of people flocked to Parler, and that wasn't even associated with him. Okay? And that got shut down. Imagine how many more people would go if it was endorsed and built, not literally built by him, but created and envisioned by him.
Yeah. I mean, maybe initially they get a lot of people, but over time, I mean, I think Facebook and Twitter dominate. I mean, they're basically a monopoly of social media right now.
Do you think they should be broken up?
I don't think there's any more room.
Should they be broken up, Tyler?
Media.
I mean, they dominate so much. That's the other question that people bring up is, all the censoring and things like that. Do these places have too much power? Maybe that's something we save for another segment. But there's a lot of discussion to be had about this. We could have a segment on this every show if we wanted to.
Yeah, no doubt.
But anyway, Tyler, Trump will leave the White House. Let's see. Oh, here we go. During the final days of his presidency, Donald Trump is biding his time. On January 20th, President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn into his new office. Tyler, do you expect any more chaos, or do you believe things will run smoothly, or at least more smoothly than they did during the protests earlier this month?
I saw there are going to be 25,000 service members from the National Guard.
That's a lot.
Sent to D.C. I mean, I saw someone, I have no idea if this is true or not, but someone said that's more troops than we have combined in like Iraq and Afghanistan right now.
It sounds like a really cool stat. I say we go with it. Yeah, sure, it's true. Mm-hmm.
So basically that, says they're more concerned about Trump supporters than ISIS and the Taliban right now.
It's an interesting way to think about it. But yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at the numbers, they wouldn't put that many people out there if they didn't think they needed them.
Yeah, and I think you have to. I mean, whether you think you need 25,000, I think you've got to be over-prepared because you cannot have what happened a few weeks ago happen again. It was an embarrassment. It was, a huge safety concern to everyone and to our democracy as a whole.
Yep.
So I think they're going to be over-prepared. I think there probably will be a lot of people who come trying to stir up trouble. But surely to goodness, with 25,000 National Guard there, we're not going to see anything.
Yeah, I think with a standard inauguration anyway, they have things pretty blocked off and have a pretty good idea of what to, expect to control any chaos, right? I mean, there's a certain area where they know the president's going to drive down Pennsylvania Avenue or walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and they block it off. I mean, there were protests at Trump's stuff. There have been protests for 4 years, and they managed to keep it at bay. So I think they'll know what to do at this point. That's just me.
And a lot of it's going to be online, kind of a virtual inauguration too.
It's going to be thrilling. I can't wait to not watch that.
But hey, Lady Gaga's going to be singing. Tom Hanks is going to be there.
I never really got into the inaugurations anyway, so for me, it's kind of like a meh.
Well, I am ready for politics to be boring again. Honestly, I'm ready for boring inaugurations. I'm ready for boring speeches after the last 4 years. Make America boring again is what I say.
MABA.
Yeah, MABA. All right.
We need to come out with those hats, Tyler. MABA.
I'm telling you, we are full of good ideas.
I know. We're like a marketing team here. We're a juggernaut.
We are. MABA hats and D cups.
Jeez.
We're sitting on a gold mine.
We're sitting on something.
Well, tell you who's not sitting on a gold mine is Nestle right now. As if Hot Pockets weren't unhealthy enough, Nestle announced a recall of over 700,000 pounds of pepperoni Hot Pockets in the U.S., citing concerns there may be small amounts of glass and plastic inside your Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
Brandon, would you be able to even tell a difference if there were glass and plastic in your Hot Pocket? Are you concerned?
I'm concerned anytime I open a Hot Pocket, to be honest with you. My, you know what I mean? It does concern me that it's glass.
Yeah.
Plastic, I'm assuming there's plastic in it. I just assume that's par for the course. The glass is a little concerning, but again, I think you are taking a risk anytime you open a Hot Pocket and eat it and assume that it's actual food.
100%.
It's I'm not going to slander the place or anything, but you're not getting the highest quality stuff.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion only.
Yeah, I think you take anytime you eat, Taco Bell or Five Guys or a Hot Pocket. Well, actually, can I be honest? I've never eaten a Hot Pocket.
Okay, I have eaten like one, and that was enough. That was enough.
It didn't impress you.
It's not going to turn you. I can tell you can eat one. It's not going to turn you into a Hot Pocket, man. A Hot Pocket is something that you get when you're like you don't have anything else in the house to eat. You're like, Mom, I don't have anything else in the house to eat. Don't you have some Hot Pockets up in the freezer? Oh, jeez, no, not the Hot Pocket.
Not the Hot Pockets, Mom.
Yeah, we got a Hot Pocket, and you eat one, and that's it.
Why are they so popular then? Why does this was like huge news this week? I saw people going crazy because they weren't going to be able to get their Hot Pockets. Again, who's the demographic for Hot Pockets? We talked about Dixie Cups demographic. who is buying the Hot Pockets?
You got me, Tyler. you got me. I can tell you my stomach feels like a Hot Pocket after I eat one. It's not great.
Okay.
I like my odds better going to Taco Bell than I do eating a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, frozen food in general for me, I try to avoid.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised. You could have told me that they make the stuff with glass and plastic, and I would have believed you, Tyler. But again, that's just my opinion. Tyler, what is New Jersey smoking? The Garden State is expanding its COVID-19 vaccine eligibility to include those that are aged 16 to 64 with underlying health conditions, and that includes 2 million smokers. Should these smokers butt their way to the front of the line, or should they be left to go up in smoke and wait their turn? So smokers are getting to the front of the vaccine line, Tyler. What do you think?
This is nuts. I mean, we've been talking about, getting first-line healthcare workers, getting teachers vaccinated so the kids can go back to school. Mm-hmm. What is New Jersey's top priority? The smokers.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I guess the argument is that being a smoker puts you more at risk if you get it because you already have done damage to your lungs.
Yes, correct.
But, that was your choice, though.
Okay.
Why should other people be punished for your poor choices?
So is that your philosophy on everything, or just this particular issue?
Because
now you've raised a really big concern because the redistribution of money through the government is essentially based on people that are doing okay paying for some people's mistakes.
Yeah.
So is it just the smoking thing that bothers you? Because we've just heard talk about them letting $10,000, $20,000 of student loans go away. Should you say to those people, well, that was your choice, you made the mistake, we're not going to help you? How far does that go, Tyler? That's what I'm asking you. I'm putting you on the spot right now. Is it the smoking that bothers you, or do you think that people should take responsibility for their own actions?
No. I mean, I don't think you can compare trying to better yourself getting a college degree to smoking.
To going in debt. I didn't say that. I just said, should people be responsible for their own actions?
Yes.
Should they be bailed out for their decisions?
No.
Okay, I'm going to remember this. In future, I'm going to write this down. Tyler says no. I'm going to mark the time. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of weird to put smokers at the front. You made the decision to do it, but at the same time, their whole thing is these people are more at risk. Their lungs are bad. No kidding. Shocker. No kidding. Next thing you know, it's going to be the people that do crack. Well, the people that do crack have a bad heart. We should put them at the front of the line. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? Give it to old people, give it to frontline workers, and then after that, just let things play out. It's just weird to go from frontline workers to smokers.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a tough jump to make.
That's the point I was trying to make. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I had to interject something else there, but I thought it was a good question.
Yeah, it just seems like they've got their priorities out of whack in New Jersey. What's going on there? Come on, New Jersey, be better.
Be better. That should be New Jersey's slogan, right? Be better. Is that what we're going with? The Garden State, be better.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, that was Tyler. I don't know if we've ever covered more different things than we did in that segment. I mean, we covered a nurse getting fired, D cups, Bruce Willis, social networks, inauguration day, hot pockets, and New Jersey smokers.
I never thought New Jersey smokers would be a topic, but here we are.
Well, you never know how life's going to end up, Tyler. We just do the show, and then somehow at the end we end up at the end. Did I just say somehow at the end we end up at the end? I just said that. I'm like Yogi Berra.
Yeah, you're like Michael Scott. Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was fun. In our third segment, Tyler, we are going to cover our wheel of stupid random topics.
Yes.
I'm very excited about it.
We've got some good topics for the wheel today.
Some goodies. So let's get to that, and we will see you right after the break. Welcome back. Third and final segment, Lex Buds and Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 40. Tyler, what do we got going on in segment 3?
All right, segment 3, we've got everyone's favorite game. It's sweeping the country. It is the Wheel of Stupid Topics. We've got 10 topics on our wheel that we will spin. And whatever topic we land on, that's what we're going to talk about. No matter how ridiculous it is, we're gonna figure out some of life's dumbest questions today.
Absolutely, and it should be noted, if you're watching this on YouTube or on our website, we do use a green screen in the background, so there's 2 green wedges that probably look black when you're seeing them on here, but there's actually something written on them. We just don't really want to invest in another wheel that's not green right now.
Yeah, we'll work on that a little later.
It makes it more fun, too, because it's kind of a mystery for the audience. But why don't you do the first spin, Tyler? Let's answer some of these random, stupid questions that we have on the wheel and answer some of life's burning questions.
Yes, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I feel like I'm on the Price is Right here.
No whammies, no whammies. And
round and round she goes. What do we got?
Ooh,
Best job.
Best job.
Okay, so what this means, Brandon.
I'll set this down here for a minute.
So, if you could have any job in the world, but you want to have the job that you think would be kind of the easiest, that maybe pays well, just kind of ideally, what do you think would be the dream job?
So is this a job where money is no object and you just get to do what you love, or is it you have to factor in the money?
Well, I don't think money has to be the deciding factor, but I guess it depends on you personally. Your dream job would, I think, pay you enough money to live at the lifestyle that you are comfortable with. So
yeah, I think this one's pretty easy, Tyler. I would like to be the taste tester at Chipotle, the head taste tester. And before any food got approved,
you think that pays well? The taste tester at Chipotle.
They put me in charge of taste testing. I wipe out everybody else, and I'm the only person in the taste testing department. Everything has to go through my mouth before it gets approved, and I get free food and Chipotle forever. And they pay me a big salary because I'm the only person in that department. And without me, the whole thing falls on itself.
Okay.
You didn't think I was going there, did you?
No, didn't
yeah,
see that
that's what I want. Every piece of pork, beef, chicken that comes through, and they're like, hey, we're going to tweak the recipe. We got to get that by Brandon. Okay, well, give me a year's supply of it. I'm going to eat it, and you're going to pay me $250,000.
Now, when we did our fast food bracket, did you not vote for Qdoba over Chipotle?
No, I did.
Okay, so why not Qdoba taste?
It was a service issue.
Oh, okay.
It's a service issue.
Okay.
I don't have to deal with that if I'm the taste tester. I just get the food.
I see.
Yeah, so that totally eliminates that in my opinion.
Do you not? Would you be worried that eating it every single day would make you tired of it?
Nope. Nope. I want it every day, twice a day, and 3 times on Sunday.
I love it. Okay.
You didn't see me going there, did you?
No.
Okay.
I think this question is harder than what it sounds like because of what I just asked you. Because you think your dream job, you think, okay, you just take whatever it is you love the most and you get paid to do it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what they always tell you. Your guidance counselor in high school is always,
what would you
if you could have a job that money was, do what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life, Well, yeah, whatever. But the thing is, if you do something you love every day, wouldn't you eventually get tired of it and not love it as much? Because it's still going to be a job.
Gee, Tyler, this is a really deep question. I just wanted to eat free burritos. You're like taking it to a whole nother level.
Well, that's me. I overanalyze everything.
Wow.
So I will say I think my dream job would be to be either a sports writer or sports commentator. Because, I mean, I'm taking the thing I love the most, which is sports.
Yes.
And, if you're you get to travel all over the country, see all the different parts of the world, and you get to sit and talk about a sport for a couple hours.
That's a good deal.
You get inside access to the coaches, to the players. You get to talk to them all. To me, as a sports nut, that would be the ideal job. But at the same time, I would worry that it would become a job, and then, sports is like my escape. So then, like, if you do sports for your job, then what is your escape? Then?
So you want to be like
what do you do
Dick
to
Vitale,
relax?
or do you want to be like Kyle Tucker at The Athletic? Like, are you talking about writing, or are you talking about being on TV? Like, where's your sweet spot here?
Whichever one would allow me to travel to actually go to the games. I think I would prefer to be the Kyle Tucker and be the writer.
Okay.
If I got to go to the games. But I want to be able to go to the games and travel to different games.
I think that's fair. Hey, you know what? We maybe do our fair share of that on this show, too, so who knows? Tyler, let's break out the wheel again. Two totally different answers. I don't think we could have been more different on that. But let's go to the next one. You ready?
All right, let's go.
All right. Oh, TV shows.
Okay, what we got for this one?
Tyler, if memory serves me correct, we are going to basically just give our favorite TV shows of all time.
I thought we were doing theme songs.
No, that's a different one. That's a different one. There's TV shows, and then we have another one that is theme songs.
Oh, boy.
So that's a totally different one.
No, wait. The TV shows is, would you rather have TV shows come out that you could binge?
Oh, yeah,
or
that's
if they
right.
come out once a week?
That's right. Okay. So let me spin the wheel again, theoretically. Boom, boom, boom. TV shows. I had something else written down. But, yeah. So with Netflix, obviously, shows are getting released all in batches, whereas before we had to wait a week in between. Netflix has thrown a wrench in the whole game. What do you like better?
Tell you, I'm going to sound old here. Because, I miss the days, back when a show came out once a week, and then you could talk about it the next day with everybody at school or at your office. Mm-hmm. But now, when all these shows are released all at once, every episode, everybody's at different stages of the show.
Yep.
So there may be other people in your office that love the same show as you, but you're on episode 2 and they're on episode 8. And it's like, well, crap, I can't talk about it to you.
Yep.
Because you can't talk without giving spoilers away.
There's no water cooler moments.
Exactly. So I long for the days of shows coming out once a week, because you lose the ability to actually talk about it with people. And that's kind of the whole point of what makes a show great, is that you can talk about it with somebody else. It sucks when you watch a show and like, oh my God, this is great, but nobody else has watched it.
Yeah.
Or they're so far behind.
You know who I
that
think
you
has
can't
hit
give it away.
who's hit the sweet spot on this? Because, with streaming services, they release them all at once. I think Disney Plus did a really good job with The Mandalorian. It is a show that they could easily release the whole season on streaming. You can watch it whenever you want, but they release one per week. And they release it, and you can watch it whenever you want. But everybody knows, hey, before next week, I better watch this episode, because everybody on Facebook and Twitter is going to be talking about this episode at some point next week. I think it's the sweet spot. You can watch it whenever you want, but it's released once a week. Whereas with TV shows, you have to be locked in at 8 o'clock, unless you have DVR services or something. I think Disney Plus hit it out of the park with The Mandalorian. The best way to watch a TV show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like mixed in between there with you. I mean, I like, getting there at 8 o'clock every night to watch the same show, but at the same time, getting to watch it whenever you want is a huge plus.
Yeah. I guess the opposite argument is that, you have to commit 6, 7, 8, 9 years of your life to a show, depending on how many seasons there are.
Yeah.
That's a long time to dedicate, whereas you could binge it and watch it in
Do you ever miss the times where we could all congregate together as a country and watch like the same things, and we could all talk about it? Now there's like 5,000 different networks and ways to watch things, and it's like almost kind of like we're fractured. Like some people watch this, some people watch that. We used to watch the same things together.
Yeah.
Going back to your old man statement.
Yes.
There was something to that was kind of cool. But I don't know. We're not going back there anytime soon. But
yeah, I mean, Netflix has everything. They can target every possible demographic. If you're a 78-year-old who likes comedic westerns, with zombies, like there's a genre for everything out there.
Let me tell you this right now. If there is a zombie show or movie made for 78-year-olds that like Westerns, I am watching that 8 days a week. I can't wait to see it. Let me know when it comes out. I'm there.
I bet I can find one.
You're probably right. All right, Tyler, give it the next spin. What do we got?
Okay, all right. Here we go.
What do we got, Tyler? Oh, you want to explain this one, Tyler? This is the tattoo story.
Okay, all right. Brandon, neither of us have tattoos, right? You don't have any
correct,
tattoos.
I do not.
That I know of.
No.
So the question is, how much would someone have to pay you in order for you to get a tattoo?
Now, can you
what is your line?
clarify how big the tattoo has to be, first of all? Because there's a big difference. If you're talking about a dragon on my back, I've got a different amount for that versus a butterfly on my pinky toe. Not that I would do that. I'm just saying.
Right. Well,
what do you think?
I think it has to at least, it can't be like microscopic. It's got to be, something that would be visible.
So it has to be a visible tattoo. Okay, now that changes things.
I mean, not, like it doesn't have to be like on your face. Like, you could be somewhere where you could cover it up. Not that kind of visible, but it has,
Look, I'm a cheap date.
maybe the size of your hand. I don't know.
Look, Ty, I'm a cheap date. All right. So I would say probably, not that this is cheap, but somebody pay me $25,000, I'd get a tattoo.
Really?
Yep. I'd get, I'd probably get the barbed wire around my arm because it's so small that it would be a small tattoo. You know what I mean? Like the big muscular guys get the barbed wire. And then, of course, there's the famous lower back tattoos. You'd probably have to pay me a lot more to get one of those.
Okay. You're not going to get a transplant.
No, okay. I'm not getting a lower back tattoo. But, if we're talking about something like some Japanese writing or a barbed wire, same stuff everybody else gets, probably about $25,000.
Okay.
Is that too low?
You're lower than me.
Okay.
I'm not doing it for $25,000. I mean, for me, it's got to be a significant amount, like an amount that would actually change a little bit of life for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, this is interesting, Tyler.
I'm gonna go.
What do you think?
225,000.
What a specific amount. That 225,000.
Yeah.
What kind of tattoo would you get? What does that buy me if I say, Tyler, I'm going to give you $225K, go get that tattoo? What does that buy me?
That's probably a butt cheek, is what that is.
No, wait, you just
I'm
no,
putting
wait,
it somewhere
wait.
where nobody will ever
No, wait,
see it.
you just said it had to be visible, so you can't be covered up with underwear. Like if you go, it has to be visible when you go to a beach.
I didn't say it had to be visible.
Yes,
when
you
go to
did. You just said that.
I just meant that it couldn't be microscopic. Like somebody could see it.
Okay, let's take that out.
visible.
Let's take the covered up because that takes the fun out of the tattoo. It has to be. Let's say you're going to the beach and you got swim trunks on or a Speedo. Please tell me you don't wear a Speedo. But let's say you go out in a Speedo to the beach. Where are you going? Where are you putting it? Where it's visible.
Okay, so if it has to be visible, then my number is going way up.
Okay. Well, what's the number? And what are you getting, and where's it going? We got to change the game here, Tyler. You got to be more ruthless in this.
Visible. I'm going to say, $275,000.
So not that much more.
Yeah,
Percentage-wise,
another 50,000.
Yeah, that's true. What are you getting, and where's it going? That's got to be visible. This is really throwing you for a loop, hasn't it?
I think I probably have to go back, honestly, because I don't want something like if I wore short sleeves to work that would be visible.
I see.
So I wouldn't go arm.
So you're putting a dragon on your back,
and then you couldn't do that's not manly. Get something on your leg or your foot. So I don't know what's a manly tattoo on your back.
I don't know. I can't wait to hear what you think it is.
A skeleton with flame shooting through its eyes.
That's great, Tyler. I would pay you that money if I knew that you'd actually do it. I would pay you that amount
for $275,000.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'll do a flaming skeleton.
Jeez Louise, it's great. I'm sure your wife would love it.
No, I would totally either do a UK or Cleveland Brown tattoo.
Okay, that's fair. Tyler, let's do one more. You want to do one more?
Let's do one.
Okay, let's do one. All right, I'm going to spin the wheel on this one. Let's go. We'll do one more. Oh, this is the green screen. Let's see.
We already did that one.
Let's keep going.
Spin it again.
Oh, Tyler, If you had neither one of us have a boat. If you had a boat, what would you name it? If you had a boat and you could name it anything in the world, Tyler, what are you naming it?
Geez, because I'm not really a boat person.
Well, that's fine, but you have been. Let's say you've been handed down a boat, and it's not got a name on it, and by law you have to name your boat and register it. What are you naming your boat?
Is there any kind of limits on what you can name a boat? Like, is it like when you
is this like an explicit name you're coming up?
No, I'm just curious. Like, because when you name a horse for horse racing, you can only have a certain amount of characters. Is there any kind of limitation?
I don't think so. Let's say it's just your imagination, Tyler.
Okay. I'm going to name my boat Dante Allen.
Why are you naming it Dante Allen?
I don't know, because Dante Allen just gets crapped on.
He sinks threes like a boat can sink.
Yeah, he can drain threes. Well, no, you wouldn't want your boat to drain.
That's true. That's true.
Or sink.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dang, you can obviously tell we're not boat owners.
Yeah. I don't know. I really have no idea.
Well, you know what I would call mine, Tyler? And this is a throwback. I actually thought you would pick this, so this was going to be I had another option in mind.
Okay.
We're both Jaws fans, the movie Jaws. I would call it the Orca.
Oh, nice.
I would name the boat the Orca because, every time I would get on the boat, I would get on and say, Hoopa!
Nice.
I would.
And then I could come on and say, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Exactly. Tyler, if I had a boat and I named it the Orca, I don't think I would be allowed to get on the boat if I didn't yell Hooper. Hoopa! And you wouldn't be allowed to get on unless you said, I think you're going to need a bigger boat.
That's great.
That's like the price of admission to get on the boat.
Absolutely. Or what was the one boat they call it, like Bodie McBoderson or something?
I don't know.
Don't you remember that?
No. What is this?
It was like some official ship, like
I think
maybe it was like a United Kingdom naval ship or something, and they put the vote out.
I remember.
People voted on Bodie McBoderson.
Never put the vote out to the people.
Maybe I'll go with that. I'll change it. I'm going to change mine to Bodie McBoderson.
I would love that, Tyler. I would love that. What an interesting segment. It's very obviously that we're not boat owners.
No.
At all.
I don't even think I would know how to drive a boat.
Tyler wants a flaming skull tattoo on his back. We've established that. For $275K, you can give that money to Tyler, and he will get a flaming skull tattoo.
If we have any listeners with a spare, $250,000 lying around.
Yeah, we're up for bid. That's pretty funny, Ty, I gotta say. Very interesting show overall, Ty. We're still talking about our frustrations with the UK, which hopefully on next week's show we don't have to talk about anymore. I'm tired of talking about it.
We better win. We got Georgia on Wednesday. That's a must win. If we lose to Georgia, then I think season's done.
Well, unless we win the SEC tournament. That's it. But, we covered a lot of ground. I'm really proud of this show, Ty. I feel a very big sense of pride with this for our 40th episode especially.
40.
We hit a lot of things that I think encompass this show. Sports, ridiculous topics, and talking about news that you do know and news that you may not have heard about before in a unique and interesting way. That's how we roll on this show.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you and you quoted Florida Georgia line there too. Good job.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. This is how we roll.
All right. I can't even look at you right now. All right. As always, follow us on Twitter at LexBuds. Visit our website, lexbuds.com. Tyler's got some cool articles up there. And we'll have our This Week in UK Sports and World History up this week as well, along with our video show. If you're listening to this on audio, you can catch us on video on our website or on YouTube. Just search Lex Buds and you'll be able to find us there. And then you can search us on Facebook, Lex Buds and Pick and Roll. We will be on there as well. And Tyler, it was a fun one. We'll see you on the next episode. Stay classy, Kentucky.